Hi everybody, welcome back from spring break. I hope that you had a good time quarantining yourselves. We have, although we may be going a little crazy. Today we're going to attempt to use the small whiteboard that I had at home and my helper Melanie. Say hi, Melanie. And we're going to try to talk through lesson 5.1 about the exponent rules. So hopefully you figured out, I'm going to just go ahead and make these on a YouTube link and I'm going to post them so that we can figure out what we're doing.
You should probably tell them your channel name so they can look up your lessons.
I'm actually just going to embed a link in Canvas in each one, and you'll be able to see it there. So today we're briefly going to talk about the exponent rules. And there are 5 of them. I'm going to turn this camera around now. The first one is the product rule. And the product rule says that if you have the same base, you're going to add the exponents. So the general formula is a to the m plus a to the n equals a to the m plus n. What that means is when we have the same base, we're going to add exponents. So as you can see in our example, we have 5 squared plus 5 cubed, which becomes 5 to the 2 plus 3, which is 5 to the 5th power. So basically what you're doing is leaving the bases the same and you're adding the exponents. Again, that's the product rule. Then we move along to the quotient rule. The quotient rule tells us that when we have division of the same bases, a to the m divided by a to the n, we have a to the m minus n. So in our example, let's say we have 7 to the 9th power divided by 7 squared. We simply do 7 to the 9 minus 7, which is 7 squared. You take the difference of the exponents. So that would be 7 squared or 49. So that's the product and the quotient rule.
You should probably tell them that they should be writing this down.
They know. This is the power of a power rule. A to the m taken to the n power, so something raised to one power and then raised to another power, simply multiply the two exponents together. That becomes a to the m times n. So if we have 8 to the 6th power raised to the 4th power, it becomes 8 to the 6 times 4, or 8 to the 24th power. So power of a power, you multiply the exponents. Finally, we have power of a product rule. So that's where you have two numbers in the middle. Rather than a number raised to a power, you actually have two factors multiplying together, a times b to the m, and then you raise each of those numbers in the parentheses to the power, a to the m times b to the m. So for example, if you have ab cubed, you have a cubed and b cubed multiplying together. You're simply raising each number or variable in those parentheses to the given power outside of that. Those are the first 4 rules. There's one more, so if you hang on just a minute, we will erase the board, and I'm going to give you the last one, which is the quotient rule for exponents.
We already did quotient
It's
rule.
another quotient rule. This one will be power of a quotient. Thank you, assistant.
You're welcome. Here. You're welcome. When you have to write, I can do this.
So the power of a quotient rule tells us, oh, the board is wet. The power of a quotient rule tells us that when we have two things dividing, like a fraction, a over b to the m power, we raise each one to that power. This becomes a to the m. I apologize for the wet board. We weren't supposed to spray it yet with the spray. A to the m over b to the m. So, for example, I can give you another example here. If we have 5 over 7 to the 3rd, it becomes 5 to the 3rd over 7 to the 3rd. Okay, and so that is the power of a quotient rule. Now, of course, these are very basic rules for now. I want to make sure you get those 5.
Do you need me to?
I want to make sure you get those 5 in your notebooks because that's what we're going to be using. And then we'll have some more examples later. I just wanted to practice doing a little quick upload with those formulas and make sure you understood the basics. And I'll be back to give you some examples in the future.